Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to cover a very important concept in SQL window function, which is what is window frame. So we are going to understand this with some examples, and I am sure if you watch the video till end, then you can easily understand this concept. So let's start. So whenever you work with SQL window function, it works on a specific set of rows. Okay, it is not like that it will work only on one row. Okay, so for example, let's say I want to calculate the sum on this amount column using the SQL window function. Okay, then what I want to do, I want to calculate the sum using the specific set of rows. Okay, so those specific set of rows is nothing, that's what I would call it as window frame. Okay, so how can I specify the specific set of rows? So for that we have a syntax inside SQL window function that is called as rows between. Okay, so rows between, and then you will have start condition and end condition. Okay, so using this syntax you can specify the window frame. Okay, so we are going to understand this with one example. Okay, so for example, let's say I have this table which is having customer, transaction rate and amount columns. Okay, let's say I have a requirement where I want to calculate the sum for each row using some specific set of rows. For example, let's say if I am at row number 3, okay, for example, if I am at row number 3, okay, then at row number 3 I want to calculate the sum using the value of the current row and all the values of the previous rows. Okay, so how can I do that? So to achieve that thing, we have called window frames. Okay, so using the window frame I can easily achieve the same thing. Okay, so we are going to, there are some common window frames. Okay, that's what we are going to understand one by one. Okay, so let's understand. Okay, so the first one is rows between unbounded preceding and current row. Okay, so first let's understand the meaning of what is unbounded mean. Okay, and what is this preceding mean. So the meaning of preceding is, let's say if I am row number 3 here, so preceding means the row before current row. Okay, so and unbounded means no limit. Okay, so basically the combined meaning of this unbounded preceding is like all the rows before current row. Okay, why we are saying before current row? Because this preceding means before. Okay, and unbounded means no limit, so basically it will consider all the rows before current row. Okay, and current row is simply current row. Okay, so let's say if I am applying the let me apply the sum on amount column. Okay, let's say I'm applying this first one. Okay, rows between unbounded preceding current row. Okay, so let me do one thing, let me just copy this. Okay, here. Okay, so now let's apply the first one. Okay, so here what we are seeing, what we are saying unbounded preceding current row. Okay, so how this will work? Let's say I am row number 3, so what it will do, it will take the value of the current row 300. Okay, and then it will take the all the values of the previous rows. Okay, so we will say 300 plus 200 plus 100. Okay, so basically it will become 600. Okay, I hope you are able to get it. Okay, let's say if you are row number 2, what will happen? It will take the value of the current row 200 plus, it will take all the values of the previous rows, so it will become 300. Okay, and let's say if I am at first row, then obviously here I don't have previous rows. Okay, so here it will just take the value of the current row. Okay, and let's say if I am here at the fourth row, then 400 plus 300 plus 200 plus 100. Okay, it will become 1000. Okay, and similarly for fifth row, it will take the value of the current row and all the previous rows, so basically it will become 1500. Okay, so I hope you are able to get it right, what is the meaning of this rows between unbounded preceding current row. Okay, so how it works, current row means current row. Okay, and unbounded preceding means the row before current row, and unbounded means no limit. So no limit means all the rows before current row. Okay, so it will take all the rows. Okay, so I hope you are able to get it. Okay, so now let me go to the database and try to execute the first condition. Okay, so let's go to database. Okay, so I already have this create table statement, insert table statement. Okay, I will put this into my YouTube video description so that you can practice the same. Okay, so I already have this table created. Okay, so here you can see, right, I already have the queries written. Okay, I don't want it to waste the time on this, The syntax is very simple. Okay, here you will just write the what function you want to apply. Here I am doing the sum on the amount column, and then inside over keyword I am saying order by transaction date, and then I am specifying the rows on which I want to do the operation. Okay, so here I am saying rows between unbounded preceding and current row. Okay, so let's see how it worked. Okay, so as I told you, right, for first row there is no previous rows, so it will just take the value of the current row. That's what we have 100, right? On the second row, it will take the value of the current row and all the previous rows, so 300 it will become, right, 200 plus 100. Similarly, at third row, it will take the value of the current row and all the previous rows, 600 it will become. On the fourth row, it will become 400 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, 1000. Similarly, at the last row, it will become all the rows combined value, right? So it will become 1500. Okay. So I hope you are able to get the meaning of what is this meaning. Okay. So now let's move to the next one. Okay. So next one is we are saying rows between current row and bounded following. Okay. So this is the opposite of the first one. Okay. So current row means current row and unbounded following. Unbounded, it is the same meaning that I explained, right? No limit. And following means the row after current row. Okay. So just remember this. Okay. Just let me write. Preceding means row before current row. Okay. And following means row after current row. Okay, so I hope you are able to get it. Okay, so what this will mean, let's say if I am at row number 3 and if I am doing the same operation, okay, then how this will work. Now what will be my amount column, okay, on the sum after doing sum. So how this will work is like, it is saying current row and the unbounded following. Let's say if I am row number 3, so it will take the value of the current row 300 and it will take all the values after current row. Why? Because we are seeing unbounded. Unbounded means no limit, right? So whatever will be the number of rows after current row, it will take all the rows. Okay, and following means after current row, right? So that's why it will take all the values after current row. Okay, so basically for third row my value will become 300 plus 400 plus 500, basically 1200 it will become. Okay, similarly for this current row plus after rows 900, and for the last row we don't have any row after that, so it will just take the value of the current row. Okay, and for the second row, obviously current row plus all the down values 1400. Okay, and for the first row, obviously current row and all the values of the down, it will become 1500. Okay, so I hope you are able to get it. Okay, let me just go to database and show you. Okay, so here you can see, right, for the first row it will take the value of the current row and after all the values, right? So that's why we are getting 1500. Similarly for second row, current row and all the values after that 1400. So I hope you are able to get it, right? So now let's move to the next one. Okay, next one is rows between one preceding and one following rows. Okay, so here you can see, right, I explained you the meaning of preceding and following, right? Preceding means before and following means after current row, right? So what this will mean, here we are saying one. Okay, here we are not saying unbounded. So one means it will take the only one row before current row, and one following means it will take one row after current row. Okay, if we have two, then it will mean two rows before or after. Okay, so whatever will be the number, you will have to consider that. Okay, so what this will do, okay, so basically what it will do, it will take the value of the current row plus the one row before after current row and plus the one row after current row. Okay, because we are seeing preceding and following rows. Okay, so basically if you are at row number 3, then what will become now? Okay, let's see. Value of the current row is 300, value of the previous row is 200, value after current row is 400. So 2 plus 3, 5 plus 4, 9. So now my value will become 900. Okay, similarly for second row, what it will become? 2 plus 1 plus 3, 500, right? And for first row we don't have any previous row, we just have after row, so it will become 300. Okay, the same for fourth row, 4 plus 3 plus 5, 1200. Okay, and for last row I don't have next row, I just have previous row. Okay, so 500 plus 400 will become 900. Okay, so I hope you are able to get it. Okay, so now let me go to database and show you, are we getting the same values or not. So you can clearly see, right, for the second row it will be 200 plus 100 plus 300, 600, that's what we are getting, right? The same goes for other rows. Okay, that's how it will work. Okay, so I hope you're able to get it. Okay, now let's move to the next one. Okay, here we are saying between unbounded preceding and unbounded following. Okay, so again I told you, right, what is this unbounded preceding and unbounded following means. Okay, but now let's see how it will work here. Okay, here we are using both unbounded preceding and unbounded following in one. Okay, so let's see how this will work. Okay, so let's say if I'm at row number 3, then how to work. So it will take the value of the current row. Okay, so basically it will become 300, and also it will take unbounded preceding. So it will take all the rows before current row. So basically 300 plus 200 plus 100, it will become 600, and also it is saying unbounded following. So it will also take all the values of after the current row. So basically it will be sum of all the values of your table. Okay, so basically it will become 1500. Okay, and even if I go to the second row, it doesn't matter, the value will remain same. Why? Because it will take the value of the current row 200, and now it will take the value of the previous rows whatever we have, and then also it will take all the values of the row after current row, right? Why I am saying all rows? Because we are using unbounded, right? Okay, so it doesn't matter whether you have 100 rows after current row or 200 rows, it will take all the values. Okay, so I hope you are able to get it. Okay, so this value is gonna remain same because in this case we are gonna consider all the rows, right? So this value is gonna remain same for all the rows. Okay, so now let me go to database and show you. Okay, so here you can clearly see, right, my value is same across all the rows. Okay, why? Here because we are seeing unbounded preceding, okay, and unbounded following. So basically it doesn't matter at which row you are, because you are going to consider all the rows before current row and all the rows before after row. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether you are at the last row or at the first row. Even if you are at the first row, you will consider the current row and all the rows after current row, right? So that's why you will cover all the values. And even if you are at the last row, it doesn't matter, right? Because here you will take the value of the current row and you will take the value of all the rows, right, before current row, because we are seeing unbounded preceding, and here you don't have any row after last row, so that's why it will not come anything here, right? So that's why you are getting the same values across all the rows. Okay, so I hope I was able to cover this. Okay, the syntax is very simple, right? I hope you are not getting confused with the syntax. Okay, the normally how you write the window function, right? Like you will specify the function name, whether you are using sum, average or rank function, and the column on which you want to apply. Inside the over keyword you will just specify, if you are partition by, then you can specify the partition by, otherwise I will use order by on the column name. And then if I want to work on the specific set of rows, and this specific set of rows is nothing but window frame, right? So to specify the window frame, what we use, we specify using this syntax, right? Rows between and then whatever I want to use, right? So these were some common window frames. Okay, so I hope you are able to get it right. Now you can easily write the queries using this window frames. Okay, so I hope I was able to cover this topic. Okay, and if you like the video, then please subscribe to my channel, like the video and share it with your friends. Okay, we will meet in the next video with some interesting SQL interview question. Till then, goodbye and thank you.